Have you ever come home from a long day of work to realize that you still have a pile of homework left to do? Or have you ever come home from a long day of school and realize that you have to go right to work? Many college students are carrying the burden of both school and work, and the combination of these two can negatively affect students' work output and attitude. Understanding where stress comes from can help us learn how to cope with it properly and not let it be such a anxiety-ridden thing for us. Stress can be both negative and positive depending on the person, how they look at it, and how they feel about the things going on in their life and the stress factors that they have. But what exactly is stress, and who does it affect and why? Stress, by definition, is the negative emotional or physical state that results from being exposed to a threat. Most of these come from the threat of having so many choices, like a newfound freedom when you graduate high school and are first entering college, or financial concerns that lead you to work in the first place. The number one academic stressor, according to a study done in a Malaysian college, is academic workload. Stress is from trying to balance all parts of your life, not just your work and your school. Two of the main factors of stress come from carryover and role conflict. And carryover is the spilling over of duties from one onto the other. And role conflict is the competing of demands from one role to the other. Like, you're a mother who also has a kid to pick up at 3, but you're in class till 4, and it just clashes with one another, and you have to make a decision which causes you anxiety and stress. Job stress is the harmful physical or emotional response that occurs when your requirements for a job that you just cannot meet, no matter how much you try. And students who's in your university, their job is to go to school. So if they're also working, it's kind of like having two jobs at once, which is double the amount of stress. In a survey I conducted at Gainesville State College among communication students, 100% were employed and agreed that their stress came from work and school. More than half agreed that it negatively affected their grade, and all agreed that you could balance work and school, but at some kind of sacrifice. The demands of a job are based around more accountability and more hours, and the monetary sacrifice is one of the biggest stressors because that's the reason you're doing it in the first place. You paid all this money to go to college, and now you have to work 40 hours a week just to pay it off. But the more money you make per hour, the more stress you have, because usually if you're getting paid more, you have more responsibilities. So even if you have a good job and you have to work as much, you still have that much stress. The more time spent working, the more time you're not studying, which means that if you're paying off for college, you're not studying for college, which can really affect your grades. But we need to learn how to cope properly with stress, or else it's never going to get better. We're just going to continue it even after college. The detriments of stress are endless. There are anxiety disorders, depression, social dysfunction, even possible suicidal intent. Students who work more sleep less, which leads to mental health causes or concerns. And a study done via a questionnaire, the students responded that they had more poor mental health days per month when school spillover was high. People don't know how to cope properly, which leads to poor coping habits like smoking, drinking, eating junk food, less sleep. But stress doesn't just affect one part of your life, it affects all parts of your life. In a study done in the University of North Dakota, researchers found that students with high levels of stress were much less satisfied with several factors of their life, not just school and work, including their self-esteem, which leads back to the negative effects of stress. It can also greatly affect your decision to stay in college. If you have a lot of stressors in your life, you might just decide to give up on one of the major ones. It's causing you financial concerns, and it's causing you mental concerns because you're constantly worried about your workload. So some people will just give up. But stress doesn't have to be negative. You can use it in a positive way. And hopefully by understanding where stress comes from and how it affects us, it will better equip you to turn it around and get rid of that nerve-wracking feeling that stress brings. By being able to break down the issues and learn good coping techniques, you can reverse the negative stress effects and make it as a positive motivator for you in your work and school environment. So I strongly encourage people to learn coping techniques and to not let stress be a negative factor in your life. Thank you.